So-called Eurosceptic parties made significant gains in the latest European elections, which also swept neo-Nazi parties into parliament for the first time. Political analysts say that Israel should react cautiously while grappling with certain right-wing groups which may actually support the Jewish state, but at the same time push anti-Semitic agendas. We get more in this report from IBA's Aryeh O'Sullivan.
The ideological platforms behind some of the right-wing parties that marked major gains in the EU Parliament elections are largely pushing a populist, xenophobic message. Movements like the Austrian Freedom Party and the National Front in France have modified their anti-Semitic features to focus on the Islamization of Europe and less on the Jews. One particularly troubling dilemma is Geert Wilder's Freedom Party in the Netherlands, who is pro-Israel but against kosher ritual slaughter.
I look at a guy like Geert Wilders, who's been here quite often, and he, for example, is an opponent of Shrita. Okay. So very nice that he's pro-Israel, and having that kind of domestic attitude means an engraved invitation to the Jewish community to leave. With such friends, as far as I'm concerned, the Jewish people in Israel can do without.
Still, some say Israel has to tread cautiously when it comes to embracing right-wing supporters of the state.
Israel should pay very clear attention to the rise of those right-wing parties that openly and vocally articulated their support of Israel. Okay, they support the state of Israel, and this support comes from ideologically embarrassing people, okay, from the far right. And I think that Israel should find a smart way to engage with those groups, because they became more influential within the European Parliament. And because they're voicing support, to what extent it is a support that is meant to stay, to what extent it is sincere, I don't know. But this is something that needs to be taken into account.
Meanwhile, on the radical left, the BDS, or the Boycott, Divest and Sanction Israel movement, is not having much impact. Professor Robert Ristrich, the director of the Vidal Sassoon International Center for the Study of Anti-Semitism, says Europe has a schizophrenic agenda when it comes to Israel.
What we're seeing at the government level, not just with regard to BDS, but Israel more generally, is a strange kind of schizophrenia. That on one level, dealing with Israel is fine, and they're only too eager, whether it's sharing of security information, intelligence, high-tech, all these areas, medicine, research. But the other side of that coin is that they are also prepared through their responses or lack of response to the more deep-seated delegitimization coming from the Arab world and Muslim countries and other places. They're prepared to appease that and to sound as if they really think Israel is the source of all the problems in the Middle East. So this, at best, is a schizophrenic attitude, and that is really extremely irritating, to say the least.
The irony is that the gains of the far right and the schizophrenia of the moderates regarding Israel leaves even the experts bewildered.
Anyone who wants to tell me they figured out the roadmap in general for Europeans, and specifically for European Jews, I think is probably drinking the wrong Kool-Aid.
In entertainment,